Hello and welcome to a short presentation from the Science Department about how we can support Year 11 pupils to do as well as they possibly can during this difficult year. So first of all, we need to talk about the revision guides, fantastically useful for the pupils, completely cover the syllabus, available in a set of 3 for triple science or a single larger volume for those pupils following combined science. The BBC Bitesize website is a fantastic resource. It has a whole series of web pages specific to the exact qualification our pupils are following, be that triple science or combined science trilogy. The web pages themselves are packed with information, video clips and mini quizzes. So these are really useful resources. They're interactive and I recommend them very highly. At St Catherine's, for several years now, we have used Educake to set science homework, a really versatile and useful piece of software. But it's more than just a platform for doing homework. The pupils can log on to their accounts and they can select all sorts of revision activities. There's also an inbuilt analysis tool that they can use, which highlights what they are doing really well in and makes suggestions for things that they need to improve. Most valuable things that a pupil can do when preparing for GCSEs is to complete past papers. Now, we have a whole sequence of mock exams that take place in school, but there are other resources out there. The Revision Science website has lots and lots of resources, lots and lots of past papers and mark schemes, and it is incredibly useful for pupils to try these questions. It just gives them a really good idea of the format and of the exam papers and what they can expect when they actually take their exams. As far as changes go for current Year 10 pupils, the change to not actually taking part in the practicals is only for Year 11. Now, we're not really sure what the future will bring, but at the moment we are assuming that at some stage a vaccine will be available and school life can go back to normal, with fingers crossed Year 10 pupils this year being back in science labs for Year 11 in September, in which case those pupils will get a chance to actually take part in all of those practicals, which I think is the exam board expectation at the moment. But obviously it's a changing situation, so when we get more information we will of course share it. Now, you may have heard in the media that some GCSEs have had changes made to their specifications to reflect the conditions that we've experienced due to the pandemic. There have been some changes in science, but they've been quite minimal. The pupils have to undertake a list of required practicals in biology, chemistry and physics. Now, these are detailed in the revision guides, which ones they have to do. Now, the only change that the exam board have made is to say that pupils no longer have to actually physically do these practicals. They are allowed to observe them. Now, luckily on YouTube, the Malmesbury Education have got an absolutely fantastic suite of these practicals that have been videoed. They're beautifully presented, really clearly explained, and a great resource for pupils wishing to just check they understand the methods of these practical exams and be able to be prepared to answer questions about the different variables and things that they do. So this, I really recommend this, a really useful resource. There's no real right answer to this question. It depends upon lots of things. How confident you are in the topic, how you've been doing in the mock exams, in your internal assessments, how your grades in those compare to your target grades, whether you are interested in pursuing science and you need really good grades, and the work you do now will therefore count as a real benefit when you take the A-level. We're very aware that the Year 11s now have a period 6 every day, and so we've actually taken steps in science to slightly reduce the amount of homework that we give the triple scientists for them, because we were giving them too much, bearing in mind they get 3 lots of homework per fortnight. It's difficult. The GCSEs work by everybody being compared to everybody else, and they rank everyone from the top to the bottom. So you've got to really decide how hard you're going to work, how good the other people are who are taking the science, how hard they've worked. I would say that in Year 11, it should be sort of starting to be time for you to start to think about revision and starting to think about when you're going to revise and what you're going to revise and how you're going to revise. But I would be thinking that with your homework, you would be looking at doing at least an hour a week after school, in addition to your period 6 lessons. That's for double scientists. Triple scientists should be looking for 3 hours per fortnight. That's just homework. But obviously revision is going to be on top of that, so it's really up to you to decide what that is, and you know, you're going to get a lot of help when it comes to revision techniques and doing revision in class as well.